Happy Thanksgiving, honey. What are you thankful for?
Thankful that we've had a successful growing season. We grew lots of fruit and vegetables and plenty of marijuana. We're all in good health and, and warm and cozy. All I need is about $100,000 to clear up my debts and get me through the next year. So
That's all, honey?
that's all. Mm-hmm.
And are we consulting the I Ching?
Sure. That's what we're doing today.
And what are we consulting about?
Well, you tell me.
Well, let's sort out this money thing.
Money. Money. Hexagram number 13, Fellowship with Men. Oh, here it is. 2016. Oh, here it is again. 2016, King's College. Oh, here's again. 2015. So not very, doesn't show up that often. I wouldn't see. Clarity is within and strength without. The character of a peaceful union of men, which, in order to hold together, needs one yielding nature among many firm persons. The judgment, fellowship with men in the open, success. It furthers one to cross the great water. The perseverance of the superior man furthers. True fellowship among men must be based upon a concern that is universal. It is not the private interests of the individual that create lasting fellowship among men, but rather the goals of humanity. That is why it is said that fellowship with men in the open succeeds. If unity of this kind prevails, even difficult and dangerous tasks, such as crossing the great water, can be accomplished. But in order to bring about this sort of fellowship, a persevering and enlightened leader is needed, a man with clear, convincing, and inspiring aims and the strength to carry them out. The image, heaven, together with fire, the image of fellowship with men. Thus the superior man organizes the clans and makes distinctions between things. Heaven has the same direction of movement as fire, yet it is different from fire. Just as the luminaries in the sky serve for the systematic division and arrangement of time, So human society and all things that really belong together must be organically arranged. Fellowship should not be a mere mingling of individuals or of things. That would be chaos, not fellowship. If fellowship is to lead to order, there must be organization within diversity. And the lines, moving lines. 9 at the beginning means fellowship with men at the gate, no blame. The beginning of union among people should take place before the door. All are equally close to one another. No divergent aims have yet arisen, and one makes no mistakes. The basic principles of any kind of union must be equally accessible to all concerned. Secret agreements bring misfortune. And the next moving line is 9 in the 4th place means he climbs up on his wall. He cannot attack good fortune. Here the reconciliation that follows quarrel moves nearer. It is true that there are still dividing walls on which we stand confronting one another, but the difficulties are too great. We get into straits, and this brings us to our senses. We cannot fight, and therein lies our good fortune. 9 in the 5th place means men bound in fellowship first weep and lament, but afterward they laugh. After great struggles, they succeed in meeting. Two people are outwardly separated, but in their hearts they are united. They are kept apart by their positions in life. Many difficulties and obstructions arise between them and cause them grief. But remaining true to each other, they allow nothing to separate them. And although it costs them a severe struggle to overcome the obstacles, they will succeed. When they come together, their sadness will change to joy. Confucius says of this, "Life leads the thoughtful man on a path of many windings. Now the course is checked. Now it runs straight again. Here winged thoughts may pour freely forth in words. There the heavy burden of knowledge must be shut away in silence. But when two people are at one in their inmost hearts, they shatter even the strength of iron or bronze. And when two people understand each other in their inmost hearts, their words are sweet and strong, like the fragrance of orchids." And that changes to a new hexagram. "52, keeping still, mountain." The image of this hexagram is the mountain, the youngest son of heaven and earth. The male principle is at the top because it strives upward by nature. The female principle is below, since the direction of its movement is downward. Thus there is rest, because movement has come to its normal end. In its application to man, the hexagram turns upon the problem of achieving a quiet heart. It is very difficult to bring quiet to the heart. While Buddhism strives for rest through an ebbing away of all movement in nirvana, the Book of Changes holds that rest is merely a state of polarity that always posits movement as its complement. Possibly the words of the text embody directions for the practice of yoga. The judgment, keeping still, keeping his back still so that he no longer feels his body. He goes into his courtyard and does not see his people, no blame. True quiet means keeping still when the time has come to keep still and going forward when the time has come to go forward. In this way, rest and movement are in agreement with the demands of the time, and thus there is light in life. The hexagram signifies the end and the beginning of all movement. The back is named because in the back are located all the nerve fibers that mediate movement. If the movement of the spinal nerves is brought to a standstill, The ego with its restlessness disappears, as it were. When a man has thus become calm, he may turn to the outside world. He no longer sees in it the struggle and tumult of individual beings, and therefore he has that true peace of mind which is needed for understanding the great laws of the universe and for acting in harmony with them. Whoever acts from these deep levels makes no mistakes. The image, mountains standing close together. The image of keeping still, thus the superior man does not permit his thoughts to go beyond his situation. The heart thinks constantly, this cannot be changed. But the movements of the heart, that is a man's thoughts, should restrict themselves to the immediate situation. All thinking that goes beyond this only makes the heart sore. Now, I'm going to eat something. Well, overall, it's a very positive hexagram, and to me, it's speaking to the fact that if we want to resolve our cash flow situation, that we will do it in partnership with others in some undertaking. And that the moving lines are indicative of the kind of steps in this process. And the first step, of course, is meeting at the gate. In other words, it's you come together with your fellows, wherever they may be, with no set agenda. Everyone is on an equal footing, and that's where you start. Okay? And the next stage in the process is a survey of the situation. In other words, you stand on your wall, and it says here, he climbs up on his wall. He cannot attack. Good fortune. So you gain, climbing up on the wall means you gain a point of view that enables you to see all the forces at play and whatever it is of the undertaking that you're doing. But it's not the time for action. There's no, especially not, you're not undertaking anything aggressive. It's merely an opportunity to observe. And the final line, moving line, men bound in fellowship first weep and lament, but afterward they laughed. After great struggles, they succeed in meeting. That, achieving the kind of fellowship that will be successful is not without its struggles. But the prospect of ultimate success is there. The interesting part is that the second hexagram is all about doing nothing, in a sense. Keeping still. Even though the way forward is through fellowship with men, the first step in that is by becoming calm and settled within yourself so that the way forward then begins to show itself. And as long as you're in a state of anxiety or frustration or fear or, you know, the way forward will not be revealed.